And let's check in with President Trump's campaign. Our correspondent Kate Fisher's in Washington, D.C. Kate, well, is it unusual for the incumbent, President Trump in this case, to remain in the White House on this night?
It certainly is. It's very unusual. In fact, he has been criticised by many for doing so. They say that the White House is for governing and anything political should be done outside of it. He's not just sitting here, sitting in there watching the results come in. He's also set up a kind of a war room, his political operation. It's not any longer in his campaign headquarters. He's brought the staff that he needs inside the White House to run things, which again has received much criticism from people who say, you know, it is not a place to be conducting political business, it is solely a place to govern the country.
And has he said anything about that in particular?
No, he hasn't passed comment on that, but we do understand that he is due to speak to the American people later on this evening. He told CBS News that he would make an announcement, talk from the East Room of the White House. We understand it's because he's keen to set the narrative for the evening. Presumably, I think he has been buoyed by the results in Florida, which are looking good for him. Of course, if he doesn't win Florida, then it is essentially game over for him. So he has been given some optimism from there, but he is concerned about some of the results coming out of the Midwest, and he is keen to get ahead of the narrative and talk to the American people directly.
So, Kate, for our viewers and listeners, I mean, who is sort of around you there? We can see a few people in the background. Is it just media? Have people or supporters come down, or what is going on there?
Yeah, it's. I've been here all day now, and it's the evening now, late in the evening here in Washington, and things have changed somewhat. There are a lot of people who kind of in quite jubilant moods. They seem to be singing songs and playing instruments. More in the last hour or so, that has possibly the tone, the mood has changed somewhat, and there have been a lot more police officers who have arrived here. Just before I spoke to you, around 100 police officers passed behind me on bicycles. Also, I'm in front of the White House, but several streets in front of the White House have been closed off to cars, to traffic. So we're in fact standing in the middle of the road here, but there are flashing police lights all around me, cutting off the roads. There are also fences up around properties close to the White House. Shops have been boarded up. There is a sense of that there is concern here about potential unrest, and certainly there are huge number of police officers and the police helicopter regularly circling overhead. But the majority of the people here now seem to be support mainly anti-Trump, but a few pro-Trump. Things are relatively peaceful and calm, but that is potentially because there are just so many police officers here.
So what is Donald Trump expecting? Because we have seen pictures of obviously that fence going up around the White House, and what are you being told that is for?
Well, very little really. Ever since I was here in the summer, well, I'm always here, but in the summer I was here during the Black Lives Matter protests, which happened in this same area, right in front of the White House. In fact, the road that I am on is now called Black Lives Matter Plaza. After all that unrest over the summer, the protests against systemic racism here in the US. And ever since those protests, the White House has built fencing around the perimeter park. Usually we'd be able to enter the park in front of the White House. That fencing has been up since the summer. Occasionally the gates are open and we can get in, but they are often closed. And it has just never been taken down. And now more fencing has gone up, as you say, around the rest of the perimeter ahead of tonight. It's unclear exactly what the president or his team think is going to happen this evening, but they've clearly decided to take no chances and have secured the compound essentially. And then the police here in Washington have also cleared all these streets of traffic. And as I say, there's a large police presence.
Thank you for joining us. That is Kate Fisher, who is in Washington, D.C., outside the White House there. If you were watching, you could see there's a few supporters and a few dissenters in the background there. And the pictures over the last few days have shown that, boarding of shops is happening, boarding up of shops there in anticipation of potential unrest, as Kate was saying, and also a particular fence going up around the White House.